1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Shiva. It's a beautiful Sunday to all of you in YouTube world and Twitter world, as well as Facebook. I just want to give you an update. We're driving through Northborough, Marlborough, Massachusetts here. We have about 4 lead cars behind us, but behind us is at least 300 to 400 big trucks and cars. John, before we end this live, we'll show you that. It's quite magnificent. This rally is a Shiva and Trump rally for truth, freedom, and health. And all the working people in central Massachusetts have come out on this beautiful Sunday because they're tired of both party establishment in Massachusetts. Both parties, the Republican, the Rhino Democrat Party establishment is one. They united against us when they saw us winning the primary election. They were so scared of us. And I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about the working people who put so much effort into putting up 10,000 lawn signs, 3,000 volunteers, 20,000 donations, all the billboard signs, all the work that we did. They got scared shitless that they had to commit election fraud. And that's one of the big pillars of this campaign. Integrity. We need to recognize that we don't have democracy in America. We don't have voter IDs. We don't get receipts. And they can manipulate the elections by literally throwing a switch to multiply people's votes. They took my votes, they halved them, and they took this other fool's vote and they multiplied them upwards. But that's what they can do. That's why they don't need to campaign. The other reason that we're out here today is all these working people, and John will show you the magnificence in the back shortly, is people are tired of these lockdowns. These lockdowns are destroying small businesses, hardworking people, and the middle class. Meanwhile, they're throwing stimulus checks to keep basically people dependent slaves. And that's what the establishment wants to do. They want to make the country a complete banana republic. You have a very small set of very wealthy people and the rest of the people living in poverty, fighting among themselves, black on white, brown on yellow, etc. That's why we need to end the lockdowns. And I'm the only Senate candidate who's come out against them. These other two fools, quote unquote, Rhino and Democrat, want lockdowns and they want forced vaccinations, because ultimately what they want to do is they want to basically support big pharma, big hospitals, and big insurance. And the goal is pharmaceutical sales are going down, and they want to use the pharmaceutical companies' infrastructure to support forced vaccinations. That's what this is about. This is about giving massive wealth to a few and completely making this country a dependent nation where we all get squeezed. So this rally today is a symbol of what happens when people come bottoms up. Our write-in campaign, as you know, we didn't walk away after they cheated from us. We didn't get depressed. We didn't go into our little holes. That's what they want people to do. Oh, we lost an election. No. The election is not the end game. The end game is to build a massive movement, bottoms up, to educate people of some very simple concepts. One concept is that we need to build a bottoms-up movement. Second concept is that about the not-so-obvious establishment. In places like Massachusetts, you have so-called right-wing commentators who basically talk a good game, but they are allowed to stay on TV and big radio because they're part of the establishment. They're not really fighters. Same on the left side. So we need to recognize that's called the not-so-obvious establishment. And the third thing is the interconnection between truth, freedom, and health. Without freedom, which is the ability to have the First Amendment, which is the ability to have open conversations, you can't get to truth. And truth is applying the scientific method. And without truth, we can't identify the real problems and innovate real solutions for our health. And without health, we don't have the ability to fight for freedom. When I started exposing the election fraud, what did they do? The Secretary of State contacted Twitter and they shut me down. And that's why we filed a $1.2 billion lawsuit in federal court. The monetary damages will likely be moving to state court, but we're not going to let them get away with the civil rights issues on this case. But that's what you get when working people like me get involved. You get real fighters, and that's what you deserve. And all of us need to learn how to fight. So over the next few weeks and months, we're not stopping with this. This movement is going to keep growing. It's going to keep escalating and expanding, because the only way we get to truth, freedom, and health is by each one of you waking up. You cannot be outsourcing your truth or your freedom or your health to big academia. You can't be outsourcing it to talking heads on TV. You can't be outsourcing it to doctors. Most medical doctors know shit about the body. They don't know anything about food as medicine. In fact, they know very little because they also are beholden to big pharma. The only way we get back to truth, freedom, and health is by us learning the foundations of how we fight. So fortunately, I was given the opportunity to learn a lot of knowledge. I'm just a mere catalyst here to help create leaders. We don't want followers, we want leaders. We want men, women, young people learning the political physics. That's a new term I just created. Political physics of how to fight. It's the political physics of change and revolutionary movements. That's what we need in this country. Because you know what? The voting systems are absolutely corrupt. The only things we can rely on, John, show that picture. The rolling rally here. John will show you the picture of the back shortly. But you have a fool like Biden over there, who's a complete corrupt individual. The only way to win is bottoms up, and waking up to the fact that the not so obvious establishment on the left takes advantage of black people, on the right takes advantage of the white working class. We need to come together to build a unified movement of working people. Bottoms up. And you know what? It's going to take you getting off your butts and going and talking to your neighbors. Get off the social media. You can't, I'm on it, but any day they can flip us off. Any day they can flip us off. We got to go back to old school. All these voting systems have got to go back to old school. We got to start counting our ballots by hand. It is too easy to manipulate these systems with these big tech electronic systems. Anyway, we're here at the Truth, Freedom, and Health Shiva and Trump rally. John, why don't you take him to the back and then come on back here, John? I just have a few more words.
All right, everybody, we're coming back there. Let's show you what the hell we got going here. When Shiva talks about building a movement, look at this. Look at all these back here. You can't even see the end of it. Oh, through all the trees. This goes all the way to the horizon. We've got literally hundreds of vehicles in this convoy. I wish I could zoom in more. Trucks with flags and everything. Literally goes on forever. Absolutely amazing. Ah, man. All right. Oh, wait. I think Jen. No, wait. No, it's still.
There we go. A ton of big cars out there, 300, 400 cars. This is on a Sunday. Everyday working people are coming out. That's what this There's about 10 days left to write in Dr. Shiva. The pen is mightier than the sword. Everyone who writes in for us is taking a stand. They're saying enough of them, and it's time for one of us. And whatever happens, we're building a movement. That's what you need to recognize. This is not about winning on their terms. This is about winning on our terms. We recognize freedom, we recognize truth, and health can only come bottoms up. Build the movement. Do not get involved in outsourcing your truth or your freedom or your health to these clowns, to these lawyers. They just want you to get active every 2 or 4 years. No. We're going to be active every day, building our movement, neighbor to neighbor. These people who came out today, this is going to keep expanding. So remember, the writing campaign, winning on their stupid election terms, because we know they cheat. They're a bunch of freaking cheaters. That's all they do. These people do not work hard. They do not ever had to run businesses. They're completely top-down scumbags. So we have to build a movement. Anyway, we'll keep you posted. I think we just finished Marlborough, and we're heading back. Thank you, everyone. Be well.